Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So, wow, gosh, it feels like forever since I've spoken to you all. So I thought I'll just come on, give you a bit of an update, tell you what I've been up to, and yeah, just hang out for a little bit. As you know, I pre-recorded a few videos and you're getting Monday's Botanical Beauties and on a Friday the Just Because quilt. So they're sitting there for the next couple of weeks, but I thought, well, we've just had a prompt and I was watching the video from the girls late last night and finished them off this morning. And yeah, what a great prompt, because that really sings autumnal colours. So yeah, have fun with that, guys. I unfortunately don't have my Roxy journals with me. I don't have any fabrics with me. I do have a project that I can stitch, but I actually did that in like one day. So I'm getting a little bit, you know, what do I do next? But I have been busy. Just an update on Dad. Dad had his surgery last Thursday. Surgery-wise, everything went really well. The anaesthetic knocked him around, but so we're going through the phase of post-operative recovery. And he's doing pretty good. Like did I mention? Today's Thursday for me. And I'm sitting in a unit that I've hired just up the road from the Royal Brisbane Hospital. So it's sort of base camp, and I can easily duck up to the hospital and, you know, say g'day and see how he's going. He's coming along really good. Today's visit was really, really good. So everything just takes time. I know I'm quite an impatient character. So I'm like, well, can't we just do this? And the doctors and nurses are saying, no, you've got to give that time. But I must say, oh my goodness, they have been fantastic. I'm just so relieved. It's been a simple process, a very informative process. So really, really good. So that's Dad. He's going to just tick along and recover as he recovers. And I'm in the unit as backup support, looking for a bit of a project. I'll tell you a little bit about something I'm mulling around while I'm killing time. Doing a lot of washing. As I go up to the hospital, there's always something that needs to be washed. So I'm planning on going out this afternoon and picking up more of things like for example, things like shorts that are just easy for the nurses and Dad to slip on, you know, instead of a button and a zip and all of that, which is what was packed from the farm because that's what he had. So yeah, I'll probably dodge out this afternoon and find some shorts. And because I'm going to be away for a few days coming up for the Ballarat retreat, I sort of want to stock the nurses up with a good selection of clothing. That way, when I get back into Brisbane prior to the Ipswich retreat, I can just swap it out and, you know, freshen it all up for him again. So that's pretty much what I've been up to. Project-wise, you're looking at the Just Because quilt and the two panels. That is the first month and second month. Well, just before I left home, I thought, well, what am I going to stitch? I don't want to take too much because I've got enough in the car. I've got suitcases packed with all of the kits and projects for the retreat. So there's like a Ballarat kit and a Ballarat suitcase, an Ipswich suitcase, and then my suitcase, and then I'm living out of a little suitcase while I'm waiting to get onto the plane, which is this coming Sunday. So I'm sort of a bit hobo-ish at the moment. So packing stuff to do was just not really an option. So I'm going to show you the third block, but you will see that video in the first week of, what are we in October? So November. So I filmed the one episode, which is me placing all the fabrics, and it was full of pins, and I thought, beauty, that'll give me something to stitch down to remove the pins, and it will also give me something to stitch. And being that I've got a lot of time on my hands, am I recording? Let me just check. I'm on the kitchen table in the unit, and I'm sort of like making do with what I've got. Like, there's the kitchen table. So yes, I'm recording. I'll show you the block. Now you're seeing a sneak peek, and there's still lots of questions and coming through on the video series. So I might even be able to answer a couple of questions while we're here. Now this block here, you will see, like I said, in November, the first Friday, where I place it all down, and I've now sat on the couch here stitching it. And that went really quickly because, you know, what else have I got to do? And I decided, which I'll talk about in video 2 November, that I'm going to stitch my blocks twice. And you're going to go, oh my goodness, girl, you're just another another level. It's because what I've noticed is when I'm doing my running stitch, the stitch on the opposite side, for example, that comes through here, is all over the place. Like, I like it, and when I'm pushed for time, it's more than adequate. But the only way I can get the stitch on the top to look similar to the stitch on the bottom is really slow down and make sure the angle of which I take my needle through the fabric is consistent. Well, that's all well and good if I can slow my brain down for a period of time to do that, but I've decided I can't. I do it for, you know, probably about 3 or 4 inches, and then I start relaxing and going off in thought and thinking about random stuff, and I'll do a whole row and then go, oh, hang on a minute, I'm sitting on the couch stitching, what have I just done? And then I notice I go back to this sort of just peeking through stitch, which is okay. But when I was sitting on the couch here in Brisbane, stitching on panel 3, ripping through it like at a speed of light, I thought, you know, I've got time, maybe I'll stitch it twice. You guys do not have to stitch it twice. This is just me in the environment that I'm in right now. This panel, I've got time. So what I did is I stitched it totally, changing direction according to the piece of fabric, just meandering around. But I made sure my needle stayed within the layer of the wadding that I'm using between my 2 fabric sides. So then I went back and I stitched this piece and that piece and then the feed sack. Now you will see video November 1st, Friday, and this is a different sack. This sack actually had the Uncle Toby's image on it, and on the opposite side of the flower sack was this image. Oh, look, I've got a call coming in. It might be the hospital, so I will pause the video. Won't be a moment. Okay, I'm back. So what was I saying? I decided to stitch it, I guess, a second time, but you know, at the end of the day, I have time to kill, so I tried it and I really like the effect. Whether I'll do that on the future blocks, who knows? This is a just because quilt, and just because I can, I'm going to try it. I guess that's the whole premise of this whole project. So there'll be all sorts of random things that I'll try and I guess workshop through, and if I love it, it'll carry on. If it's something I'm not real keen on, I mightn't do it again. So that's the benefit of this project. So what else have I been doing? I did go to a shop that I've never seen before, and I thought, well, I'm heading to a big shopping centre to get supplies, and they were on the north side of town, called the Nest Haberdashery. I'd heard about it, just never really got there. So I thought I'm going to go across, and I was right at the opening of the store for the day, and had about an hour wandering around in there. It's very similar, by the sounds of it, to what the girls have in Sydney, the sewing basket, reclaimed sewing supplies, and all the funds going to community work. So I'll pop some photos at the end of this video. I only took a couple. There was a lot of volunteers in there working, and a lot of customers, and I didn't really want to impose, you know, me walking around yibby yabbering to you guys. So I'll pop those videos at the end. What I will do is also show you what I picked up there. So I'll just grab those bits and bobs, because as I said, I don't have a lot of stuff with me, and I thought, well, what can I do? Maybe there's a project comes to me, and that I think I was there Tuesday, and that particular day I felt like bright colours. So that's what I looked for as I wandered around the store. Don't know what I'm going to make with it, but I thought I'll show it to you and maybe something will come to me. There's an interesting piece in amongst it that I thought was something, maybe. Let's see. So as I said, I was like looking for something bright, happy, and you know, well, I guess the night before I'd been stitching this. So these colours are certainly on my radar. I picked up some threads because I don't have anything with me. So some more threads for the Just Because quilt, and then that's my colour palette. So as I walked around this little shop with this in mind, I found this for $2. It's just a little bag. I'm going to pop that in over there. A little bag of quilt morsels for English paper piecing that haven't been completed. And I thought, well, for $2, I can't go too wrong. I definitely won't make them into anything. This is the first time I've unpacked it, so I can now see where whoever was doing this was heading. But there's pieces here I think I can use. So I've got those for $2. I thought, wow, and that's all we need, isn't it? Morsels. So that's, oh, there's pins. Let me just move those out of action here because we don't want to be visiting those. So I've got that. And like I said, I don't know what I'm going to make with this. I just felt like picking up some colour and some bits and bobs, and this is what I left the store with. Let me just organise this a little bit. All those, sounds like my load of washing is finished. This little unit's been just a blessing. I've got a little lounge to this way. Got a kitchen behind me. This dining table is, you know, in the middle. There's a balcony to the west and there's a balcony to the east, so lots of light. And then down this way is a hallway with the 2 bedrooms from, you know, off the hallway, and the washing machine is in a cupboard on that hallway and the door out of the unit. So it's been good because I've been able to do some washing. So this was a fat quarter. I thought, beautiful fabric. So I grabbed that. And then I thought, well, if I'm going to have a little bit of colour, I found this scrap. That gives me the pink and the orange. It's just a random piece. So I've got that. I don't know, I was one of those days too where there was a lot going on and it just felt good to wander around and pick up little bits of things and have a colour palette. It sort of took my mind off everything and brought those creative thoughts back in, so it was really good. I found that. It's like $12 and it's 1.5 meters of fabric. And I thought, well, that works somewhat. So that's how the fabrics went. They then had some doilies and I found this little beauty. Like the colours. Don't know if it'll go with this project in the end. Who knows? It might end up on my Just Because quilt. I just thought it was gorgeous. And then when I went back to that area, I spotted another basket and I found the 2 little mates that go with it. So it was lovely to be able to put that set together. This was just a gorgeous piece of fabric, but for $10, which I thought was great value. Let me just get this off of here. I'll keep that safety pin because, like I said, I don't have my craft room. So it's funny, you think of doing things and you're like, oh, I don't have that. This is a piece of linen. It's, I would say, 90 centimetres by 90 centimetres, unstitched, and it has this gorgeous soft blue print on it, and that in itself is just a pretty piece of fabric. Can't make out what's written really anywhere. Yeah, so I have that up my sleeve, and I thought for a background fabric at least I've got something I can start with, and I think that sort of works well with bringing in these things, but I don't even know what I'm going to make. If anything, it's just been fun. And then I found this little vanity set. Let me grab that out of there. Unfinished, if I recall, original piece. and the print is just lovely. They had heaps of them there, heaps of them, and I was like, slow down girl, you only need one. So I went through the whole lot, and this is the one I chose. I thought it's quite an interesting design, and I thought that and that, even for my Just Because quilt, because I've got this piece here, I thought that was actually a very pretty little design, so I grabbed that to add to my who knows what I'm going to do pile. I found this little piece of fabric because I thought, well, maybe I want to thread paint something, and then I saw this. So it looks like applique, cotton applique images, and I could just make out that it looked like roses, so I thought, oh, I'll grab it. And what was it, $5? So I've got some flowers. Gee, they're big, but I've got some flowers. So as I sort of, I guess, when I do a project, I was thinking about all the ingredients that we use. We usually have a feature piece, we have a background fabric, we have a, you know, something random. That's sort of the application I applied to this little stash. I do tend to shop a little bit that way. I try and say, all right, well, what am I going to make with it? Think of a project and then buy for that project. I try not to buy too much random stuff because I find that's always the gear that's sitting in the cupboard looking at me in 6 months' time. So I'm a little bit this way when I do go to establishments that are like the nest. So that is also there. Now this is the piece. The vanity unit was $20. My goodness, they're getting up there in price, but you know, that's what it is. This is the piece that was like, what are you? It was $8. I don't know what it is, but I'll show you. And it sort of sparks something in my mind. So we've got printed here a little crinoline lady. Someone has added ink to it. I'm guessing a young person, and has attempted to do some stem stitch, but that's the end of that. So maybe they realised that that's just too much and went towards colouring, or it never got done and a little person's picked it up and added some colour. Now, let me show you what it is. It's like a satchel wrap / goodness knows. So there's 2 pockets, but then you open it up and there's another 2 pockets. So when I saw it, I'm like, well, maybe I don't need to invent something. Maybe I can embellish something. And because I don't have calico or any base, like I've got this, I thought, well, this could be my base. Mind you, I don't have a quick unpick, but I do have a small pair of scissors. So what my thoughts are is actually pulling this apart, using it as my base. I've got a great space here to do something. I've got 2 pockets here that I can remove. Then I've got the back. Then I've got these 2 pockets. So the plan is, while I'm traveling for the next 3 weeks, bumping into all sorts of folks at the retreats, Susanna's bringing heaps of scraps of fabrics. We'll be visiting different outlets selling fabrics. I thought, well, you know, maybe this becomes something. I don't know if my little lady will be kept. Haven't even got that far. I don't know. I just thought, wow, you're meant to be. It's potentially useful. I can put projects in it, threads, supplies, and then it seems to do that. So yeah, it's funny how these things come to you. So my little crinoline lady is going to be something, but I don't know what. And what I have so far is just some random supplies. Random. So I really like the fact that that is a big piece of fabric. So I think that's going to feature a bit. That's going to feature that. I don't know. don't know. So that's what I did at the nest. The other thing is I went to visit a friend, my dear friend, who's come back from a trip with her husband and two of her daughters to England, Scotland and Paris. And I had dinner with them and I got some gifts. Look, I got a pin cushion. So those are the pins I just found in that pack. This is from the Stirling Castle in Scotland. And I thought, oh, I knew they were going to Versailles again, and I nearly sent her a message and said, oh, when you get to that gift shop as you exit the castle, something tapestry in the way of a cushion would be lovely. And then I just forgot. Everything just took over. This was just such a surprise, and I don't have a pin cushion, so that was good. And then the girls, they got me some Belgium chocolates. So while I was waiting for dinner to be cooked, of course, a little mouse went in here and had a little taste test. Fantastic. And then I'm sitting there going, oh, I love the little container. And she goes, do you want another one? And I'm like, yeah. Apparently one of the girls had bought some for themselves, so I've got a gold version as well of this little container. It's sitting down in the car. So I potentially got something to put supplies in. So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I did, while I was waiting for them to get home from work, I got a haircut, a bit of a trim, and there was a Salvation Army thrift store near that shopping centre, which was closer to where I used to live. I was sort of over on that side of Brisbane. And I thought, oh, I've got about an hour to kill because they weren't home from work yet. And I found some little doilies. These are more for the retreat because there's collaging and snippets and things like that happening. So when I saw them, I thought, look, I'll grab them and I'll just throw them in my suitcase. And if any of the girls pick a colour scheme that these suit, you know, we've got some more supplies with us. So that's my thoughts with these little ones, and they're really good prices. Like everything there was like $1. Definitely a lot cheaper than where I was at the nest, but it's a different environment. So just some little fine-ish crocheting morsely things that we can nibble at over the next week or so. That one was pretty good. It was a long runner and I think it was $2. Really good. So I picked up those. So I guess I've got a few things here with me, but not a lot. And that one. So a couple little treasures. I'll pop them in my suitcase to go on the road with me. Yeah, that's pretty much what's happening. So I'm really just chilling out, up to the hospital, visit Dad, do some washing for Dad, hang out, you know, just cooling my heels, I guess. Sunday, I think I mentioned this, Sunday I fly to Ballarat to start the retreat, so really looking forward to that. I was explaining to the doctors what I do, and they were actually really relieved that I had that to do, because they said when people are in recovery, it's such a time thing, it just takes time, you know, and they were like, oh, that's great, you go and do that. Life goes on, leave him with us, we'll look after him, visit when you can, and we'll keep you posted. So, oh gosh, they've been fantastic. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell. I must say, when I saw the prompt from the Rachel and Sarah's videos, I was thinking about this. I'm like, well, I can't even do that. So but it's all good. I'll catch up. There's no rush. So you guys have a great day. Enjoy your stitching for the autumnal colours for our Roxy project. Tomorrow you'll see this project ticking along. And of course, yeah, I'm just curling my heels, sit tight and keeping myself occupied. All right, guys, thanks for all your kind comments and messages, and oh gosh, you've been fantastic. But we're over the hump and we're on the other side, so it's good. Life is moving along, and I'm surrounded by fantastic doctors and nurses, and oh my goodness, very clever. Oh gosh, very clever. All right, I will say goodbye. I'll upload this video, and I'll see you probably when I get to Ballarat, I'm sure I'll be mucking around with those girls and we'll do something. There's a few YouTubers there too coming. So, oh, there'll be shenanigans for sure. All right, guys, look after yourselves. Bye.